Yesterday, actually, Global Times, which is known as pro-China Mouthpiece, has made statements. First, of course, was late last night. They came out with an article saying that Indian experts play with fire by challenging one China principle. Well, they've been speaking of some webinars happening in India and how Indian experts are suggesting that India should rethink its China principle and we should move ahead in a more aggressive manner. We have Pradesh Kumar Rao joining us with more on the big screen there. Pradesh.
That's right. This is the Global Times, the Chinese mouthpiece, shifting the blame like we've been reporting, Vivek. It says Indian troops on Monday seriously violated the consensus of the two sides by illegally, and focus on the language here in the choice of words, sides by illegally crossing the border twice and carrying out provocative attacks on Chinese soldiers, resulting in serious physical clashes. The Chinese foreign minister said on reports that 3 Indian soldiers were killed. But the army has made it clear that there have been casualties, Vivek, on both sides. This was most unfortunate because this comes at a time when both sides, at least on the military commander level, were having a dialogue. They were trying to sort out the differences, sitting across the table, and multiple rounds of talks had already taken place. Remember, this goes back a long way in time because India and China have the longest unmarked border between the two countries in the world, and ever since 1975 there have been smaller skirmishes, of course, and the only war in 1962, but more or less it has been rather peaceful. The Prime Minister had gone to Beijing. There was a meeting that took place in Wuhan, but this is the betrayal of the Wuhan spirit, because despite the military commanders talking to each other, this kind of violent behavior and unilateral action by China is unacceptable. Vivek.
Yes, we have further information coming in. Our reporters at North Block there, Nikunj Garg, and also Megha Prasad is now at the South Block in front of the Prime Minister's office. Megha, let me bring you up to speed on the latest tweet which has come from the Global Times. It says China has lodged solemn representations with the Indian side and urged it to strictly restrain its frontline troops from crossing the border or taking any unilateral action that may complicate the border situation. That's Chinese Foreign Ministry sources. So they have said in their first tweet that on Monday, seriously, India violated the consensus of the two sides by illegally crossing border twice and carrying out quote-unquote provocative attack on Chinese soldiers, resulting in serious physical clashes. So all the blame, according to the Chinese, is on the Indian side. Megha, what's happening at the Prime Minister's residence?
Yes, so Vivek, I am joining you from outside 7 LKM, the Prime Minister's residence, and in just about less than 2 hours, the Prime Minister is going to sit down for our all-important meeting on Corona. But before that happens, all of this situation now being reported from what happened at the border in eastern Ladakh between India and China, and clearly that seems to be priority number 1 at 7 LKM also. The Prime Minister sees that the situation in all probability has been briefed, and minute-to-minute information that has been trickling into 7 LKM about the situation, because this has happened last evening. Remember, it has taken quite some time for the news to be broken in the public domain, but now the information that you're reading out, Vivek, and that's crucial because coming in from the Chinese government, and you're quoting the ministry there, putting the blame on the side of Indians, we will have to actually wait for the Indian establishment to react to that allegation, because remember, Vivek, the situation is actually the other way around. It is the Chinese who have the incursion has happened from the side of the China. They are in 3 kilometers inside the Indian territory. They've been camping there. Now, what does the government of India have to say about this escalation? And yes, the casualty that we've suffered. Again, reports suggesting that casualties have happened on both sides. But the statement from India has been a very plain one. They have talked about problem that happened, escalation that happened, violence that has happened, which has resulted in the loss of life.
Megha,
they haven't said anything
beyond
beyond
further
that.
breaking information coming in. Srinjoy Chaudhary updating us that it's been confirmed that injuries have been on both sides. Fighting took place for a while, and the fighting happened in pitch darkness. Stone stones and sticks were used. The Raksha Mantri is, of course, reviewing the situation, and there have been injuries on both sides. China will soon be announcing its fatalities. No bullets or knives were used at all. No sharp weapons, no bullets, no knives used, no firearms used. The fighting happened in pitch darkness. So